Namaste. Welcome to the storytelling sessions for the year of 2021 during Navrathri. Today, this session, I'll be telling you the stories of the Navadurgas. So today is the first day of Navrathri. So the story is about Shailaputri. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Ma Shailaputri Rupena Samstitha Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Devi comes in so many forms. Durga comes in so many forms. There is Shailaputri, then there is Brahmacharini, and then on. Every day is a new form that we pray to. This actually charts her whole life. When she was born as the daughter of Himavan. It charts her life from the time that she is born to the time that she marries Shiva and later. So, and tells us about her grandeur. The first day is for Shailaputri. Shaila means stone, rock, the rock of the mountains, Himalayas. Putri is daughter. She is also known as Parvati. Parvata means mountain again. Parvati, of the mountains. Hemavati, daughter of Himavan. Himavat's daughter, Hemavati. She was a little girl born to the king of the Himalayas, his wife Prasuti. Why is she so important? Why is she prayed to as a child? Let us see who she is. Let us see who she is. So what had happened? Shiva, Lord Shiva, had married the daughter of Daksha Prajapati. Lord Shiva had married the daughter of Daksha Prajapati. Her name was Sati. Sati was this beautiful, beautiful lady, right? And he had married Sati against the wishes of her father, against the wishes of Sati's father, Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati did not like Shiva at all because he was a very, very rich king, very rich. And among the gods is where he lived. He had many daughters who were married to big rishis and gods and all such. And this daughter of his, Sati, had decided to marry a person who was just walking around on the mountains, who wore a skin of a deer skin and who covered himself with ashes and had snakes on his body. And he just walked around and wandered around. Sati had decided to marry him. His name was Shiva, who we pray to as Bhagwan Shiva. Now, to marry someone who looked like this, he wouldn't be able to sit with his other sons-in-law or his friends. So Daksha Prajapati was not happy at all. Now, but his daughter, Sati, she was a very adamant girl and she knew what she wanted. And she decided she would marry Shiva, and she marries him and goes away to Kailasha, to his house. And they are very happy together. They're there. And Shiva has a Vahana, that is Nandi. he sits on Nandi, and Parvati, and Sati also sits on Nandi, and that's how they go around. Now, they are having a nice time. She is very happy. And one day she hears some news. She hears news that her father, Daksha Prajapati, was having a big yagna in his house. Homa, Havan. He had invited all the gods. He had invited all his daughters and their families. He had invited all the important people around, but he had not invited Shiva and Sati. Now, Sati goes to Shiva and says, you know what? I need to go to my parents' home. Papa is having a big havan, big yagna. I have to go. Shiva says, we've not been invited. We can't go. We shouldn't go. Does anyone need an invitation to go to one's father's house, to one's parents' home? Does any daughter ever need an invitation? No. I go to my mother's house even when she doesn't call me. I mean, she doesn't have to call me. I just go. Then I feel like going. I just get a ticket and go. Most of you also do the same. So Sati says, no. It's my father's house. Why I shouldn't go? Why does he have to invite me? I know it. I'm going. That's it. Shiva says, Sati, don't go. Don't go. She doesn't accept. She's not okay with that. So he says, okay, if you want to go, go, but I'm not coming. You can go. And so she sits on Nandi and she goes. She is taken by so many people, go and drop her off. She's very happy, excited to go to meet her parents and her sisters and everyone there, her friends. So she goes, and Prasuti, her mother, is so excited to see her. She rushes up and she says, oh, Sati, come, beta, come. And brings her home inside, sits her down, gets a nice food and lets her rest. And she says, I want to see Daddy. I want to see my Pitaji. I want to see my father. And she goes to Daksha. But Daksha Prajapati doesn't even want to see her. He just looks away. Nobody else talks with her either. No one at all is happy to have her there. Daksha is actually very happy that Shiva has not come, because otherwise he would have to explain his son-in-law. His son-in-law would look very odd in front of everybody. Now the yagna begins and everyone is seated. Parvati also sits down. She doesn't think too much about it. Yes, she does feel a little hurt that her father has not talked with her, nobody else has, but then she thinks, everyone is busy, that's okay. Her mother was very excited, so she sits down, and then the yagna starts, and then there are other things going on around. And our Daksha Prajapati, he sees his daughter sitting there. He sees Sati sitting there among all his other daughters and his other sons-in-law. Is happy that Shiva is not there. And he starts talking bad stuff about Shiva. He insults Shiva in front of Sati. Sati has now started feeling alone because no one is taking her side, excepting her mother. Her mother is, trying to calm her down and make her feel good. Now, she starts getting more and more upset. And then when her father starts insulting Shiva as a beggar, as a person who has nothing with him, who doesn't care for anyone, who does not care for being a person of proper attire. He does not know how to sit with people. He has nothing at all. He just meditates on some rock and has just ganas around with him. Nothing. He has no gold. He has no silver. He has no gems. He has just snakes to cover him. And Daksha Prajapati continues insulting Sati, and she just starts getting very, very upset. And she gets angry with her father, saying that, this yagna is going to be of no good, of no use. And she throws herself into the fire. Thus, that yagna cannot continue. Immediately, all the followers of Shiva who had come with her race home and tell Shiva. Daksha is still not caring. At this point, Daksha is still not caring. Shiva transports himself there, and with such anger, he is Veerabhadra now. Really, really, really very angry. He comes in the form of Veerabhadra. The anger is just immense. He picks up Sati's body, gets so angry. But no, he sees her body and he's so maddened with anger and so sad because he loved Sati. He tells the father, Daksha, what did you do? This is your daughter. This is your daughter. Daksha doesn't care. Shiva cannot handle this anymore. And he in his anger, he just cuts off Daksha Prajapati's head. And he carries Sati's body and starts dancing. He does the tandava, the Rudra tandava, the tandava filled with anger, because his anger is not abated. And he carries her in his hands and he's dancing. Takadimi, takadimi, takadimi. He dances across the entire yagna kunda and everywhere, and people are just scared of him and they just rush off. Everyone is praying to him, please calm down, calm down. Oh Veerabhadra, calm down. Oh Shiva, calm down. He is not calming down at all. Then all the gods and everyone go to Vishnu and say, oh Vishnu, you have to save us. You have to save this entire world from the anger of Shiva. He is so angry at the loss of his beloved wife and the fact that her father was the cause for her death. So Vishnu comes and he takes his Sudarshana and he just flings it at the body of Sati. And one by one, every limb slowly cuts off and falls in 52 places on the earth, all around Bharat. And they are all called Shakti Pithas. Those are the 52 Shakti Pithas. Now, and as the body starts going away from his hands, Shiva starts getting calm. he calms down. He's calming down. His dance gets slower and slower. The dance that was causing earthquakes, that was causing all sorts of physical things to erupt on the earth. All the animals, the cave animals were rushing out of the caves. Those that had burrowed deeply into the earth were coming outside. All the animals were getting trampled. Now that's getting slower and slower and slower. Everyone is getting better. He calms down. And Shiva looks at Daksha and says, "You are the cause." Daksha, like, "I'm sorry, I'm very sorry." Of course, he apologizes to Shiva. He understands that what he has done is wrong. He cries for his daughter, Vishnu, but how can he, because that yagna was very important to finish, right? So he would have given him the head of a ram, because Shiva will have cut off his head, right? So he will have given the head of a ram and put it on his head and given him life. And that's when he understands what he's done is wrong. Okay, so that is the story of Sati. Now, as one life ends, another life starts. So Sati is reborn as Parvati, as Hemavati, as Shailaputri. She is born to Himavan Raja, the king of the Himalayas. And she's a little girl, beloved girl, loved by everyone around. And she has a real attachment to Shiva. She always thinks about Shiva, and she thinks, he's so nice. But Shiva, after Sati dies, he was not interested in anybody at all. He does not care about marriage. He does not care about children. He doesn't care about anything. He has just gone and he's meditating and lost to the world. He is on his own, a yogi. So let us see what happens to our Shailaputri as she grows older. Tomorrow will be the next story. So now there's a question for you. Who does Shailaputri marry in the end? Does she get married? And how many daughters did Daksha Prajapati have? Can you name 5 of his daughters? And a third question, there are 52 Shakti Pithas. Which are these Shakti Pithas? Have you been to any of them? You can give me an answer to these questions. And the story continues tomorrow. Namaste. Jai Mata Di.